block number 2 of the NPH Hour here on News Talk Saga 960 AM. I'm your host, Jason Thom, and earlier this week, I had booked an interview with senior men's national team veteran Melvin Ejim, who was down in Tampa as the team was wrapping up camp. And for the first time in 5 years of doing these sort of things with Melvin, he was late. Now, he warned me in advance, but it was still out of character. When we did connect to record, I asked if everything was okay, and he said that everyone was going to be fine, and that was a good thing. But it was obvious that something was going on in his life. 2 days later, word got out that Ejim was not going to be traveling with the team to the Olympic qualifier in Victoria, British Columbia. It's a huge loss for the squad in terms of fit and leadership. But as you will hear in this interview, it must have been unavoidable, because playing for Canada is something that is in this man's blood. Melvin Ejim once again wearing the red and white, this time in Tampa, Florida, on the back end of a global pandemic, preparing for a must-win Olympic qualifying tournament in Victoria, BC at the end of June. Melvin, you've seen pretty much everything you can see over the last 8 years with the senior men's national team, except an Olympic berth. Really simple to start it off, man. Like, what would that mean to you and really to your family?
Man, it'd be everything. I mean, I think like as an athlete, and as a professional athlete, the highest achievement that you can have or recognition is being able to say you're an Olympian. You know, you're the best of the best, not only in your country, but in the world. And you're getting that recognition. I think that's what everyone who puts on their jersey and, are striving for, right? So for me personally, it's always been a dream of mine. It's always been a goal of mine. It's something that every time I've touched the court, I've been thinking and trying to visualize and to get to. But for my family, it's another amazing opportunity of validation, right? My grandfather came over to Canada, many years ago, trying to get a better life for his family. And what better life is it to see your grandson being, on the podium or standing up in front of the world as some of the top best athletes in the world, right? And I think for my family as a whole, there's been so much sacrifice and hard work into bringing me up, but not just me, our whole family up, that it's kind of that gratification, like, man, we were able to do something amazing as a group, because everything that happens is because of the group, and I'm just kind of the byproduct of it. But it'd be an amazing feeling. It'd be an amazing opportunity. And literally, I think that's what, we fight for and work for every time that we get on the court.
And let's talk about those family ties. I mean, your brother Dion's playing in the NCAA, your sister Yvonne, same thing. Both your brothers, Ryan and Kenny, front and center here in the birth of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. If there was a style associated to the Ejim family name, how would you describe that?
Oh my goodness. It's funny because we're all kind of like the similar type of player. We're all kind of tweeners at some point, right? Some of us have better guard skills, some of us have better post skills, but tweeners for sure. 3-4s, hard workers, like literally motor people, can do a lot of different things, different skills, shoot, rebound, dribble the ball, but definitely have like heart and just bring that value and toughness to the team. So I think it's funny because we're all kind of like, we're just stuck in the same position. None of us were able to kind of like break the mold. But definitely tweeners, definitely versatility, definitely toughness, heart, and just tough as nails. Yeah.
Great description, man. That's why I had you on this show, but you could have just said winners, because, I mean, that's what it is, right? You guys, everywhere you go, CEBL championship to your name, multiple championships internationally when it comes to the Ejim family name. And now let's go to your immediate family, your wife, Samantha, your 2 sons. They don't physically take the court with you, but also the sacrifice that they put in. Every summer, you're here in the red and white. And looking ahead, what would you tell your 2 boys as to why you were always there when the call comes to represent your family? When they ask you later, Daddy, well, why'd you do that? Like, that's a lot of basketball over 8 years. What was it? What would you say to them?
I would tell them that there's some things that are bigger than yourself, right? And there's some times where representation means more than anything, right? And for me, not just representing myself, but representing the country, representing my family, and being able to do that, being able to be in a position to do that to be someone that people look up to, or someone that people see as they look at an organization or a player. It's important and it's big. I mean, it's the same reason why on TV we feel like representation means stuff, why we want to see different people on TV, why we want to see different things on TV, why we want to see different things around us and with us. Representation sometimes is big, and sometimes representation is bigger than you are. So for me, representation is super important. And the reason I always answer the call is because I wanted to be somebody who can represent people and ourselves in the positive and right direction, in the right way. And I also just love the game and I love the country. And I feel like being able to be in a position to help them succeed and is important. And I'm an extremely loyal person. And I think that, that love for the game, that love for the country, that love of wanting to be an example and show the right way and the right characteristics for people is what draws me in every time, and makes it harder and harder to step away and just always want to be a part of it.
A story a lot of people know by now is from 2 years ago. You're watching your second son, Miles, be born on FaceTime 6 hours before you take the court in China with Team Canada at the FIBA World Cup. How much do you appreciate the sacrifice that your wife Samantha has made for you to continue on this mission? Because I remember talking to you before that happened, and you were like, yeah, no, she's cool with it. Like she's with it, So how important is it to have that teammate with you that you're married to?
Yeah, I mean, just like I told you before, it's all about kind of like the byproduct of the people around you. I am the byproduct of people around me. She honestly has allowed me to grow so much and allowed me to have so much success because she sacrifices off the court. I mean, everyone looks at me and I think that I'm a big sacrificer on the court. I'm a big sacrificer in different ways, but she sacrificed so much in order for me to even be in a position to do what I do. And like you said, just her giving that okay and being comfortable of bringing a child into the world without the person who helped you create it, and being comfortable enough to be like, go follow your dreams and go do what you want to do is an amazing thing. And she literally is my rock, right? Like I wouldn't have been able to do half the things I've done if she wasn't there. And still now, every year we go overseas together. She sacrifices being away from her family. She takes care of our kids when I'm on the road for 4 or 5 days, or we're doing different things, and she's there, right? So if I didn't have her, I mean, I don't know where I'd be. And honestly, she allows me to be as great as I am. So she's pivotal. She's important. She's the reason. Yeah.
When you talk about being a part of a team, you've been described as, Swiss Army knife, the glue guy, all those great things. But I think the one thing you are is you're the transitional piece in this program. There's been different coaches, different styles, NCAA talent, NBA talent. Who were your OGs when you started up with the national program?
Oh man, I mean, there's too many, right? But obviously there was Carl, there was Javon, there was Rock. Those were the guys who kind of like, when I was coming in, were showing me the ropes, and guys who kind of I knew of before, especially Rock and Shep. I knew them, watched them play growing up, seen them play professionally, play in college. And then when I got there, they were kind of like, hey, this is how things are done. These were guys that I seen were doing what I'm doing now, coming in, representing every chance they had an opportunity to, and doing a great job, being selfless and sacrificing. So those were kind of the OGs that I knew, and that were kind of there when I was coming up, for sure.
And I mean, you got a lot of miles left in you, but how much pride do you take now in being an OG to these young bucks that are coming up behind you? And every year there's more in that camp, that are really opening your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I think this year obviously was the biggest gap, right? No, so there was someone here that's 10. I'm 10 years older than, right? So it's just like, wow, Father Time really is undefeated. But it's definitely something I take pride in, knowing that I have a vast amount of knowledge that I can share with these guys to help them early in their career, so that they can, get to higher places than they may have thought they could have, or I can help just be a small part of helping them grow and develop and showing them the right way to be as a pro, or as a as a person, as a husband, as a father, whatever. It gives me great joy and I feel a great amount of responsibility to do that because that's what was done to me. And it's super important. I think that's why, besides just the fact that I bring value to the team, I think off the court, they see that I bring value and have an ability to reach these guys and communicate and talk to them and keep them, down to earth. So I think that's super important. And it's something that I really value. And I definitely don't take for granted when I'm here every time I get the opportunity to.
Vivek Jacob wrote a great story on you on cbc.ca, which included, the beginning of basketball taking over for soccer in the Ejim bloodlines. One thing that I connected with was saying that you were shooting at a local school, no baskets. You were using a brick as your target. I was using, remember the tin cutout, the tin signs that would say no dogs running, that sort of thing. It was a bit of a bigger net. I wasn't great, right?
Yeah.
So, but obviously you've come a long way since then, getting paid to play the sport you love. But I mean, basketball in Canada has come a far way. We have more facilities than ever, more kids playing the sport than ever. Why do you think this sport is so perfect for the country of Canada and the people who make up the fabric of this country?
I mean, come on, a Canadian created the sport, right? I mean, if that wasn't enough information to let you know that we should be doing this and playing at a high level, what else do you need? But honestly, it was just so young. There was just so much room for growth, and there was just so much success, untapped success that people, hadn't seen yet. And I think as we started to see it, in the professional level and in the local levels and guys coming up, it just made it more tangible. I think before it didn't seem as tangible. It just seemed like something that we watched and we enjoyed and was a favorite pastime. But then it became more and more tangible as we started seeing people around us just, doing so well and creating lives and livelihoods and success, playing the sport. And it just kind of grew. And then I think people just gravitated toward it because it's a connector. You know what I mean? People enjoy the game of basketball. It's easy to play. It's fun. And it connected people. And I think that as that continued to grow and as we continue to see success as a nation and individually, as certain people started to succeed, it just exploded, right? And I think that it just was primed for that opportunity, and it took some time, but now it's on its way. It's going. Yeah.
Melvin Ejim, a champion in Italy, a champion in Montenegro, and really you've become, a champion for the types of players that I think we appreciate here in Canada as well. And so much luck in your journey going forward, man. Hopefully we can call you an Olympian, but either way, man, good luck in Victoria, and we look forward to catching up again. Thank you for coming on the NPH Hour.
I really appreciate it, man. It was awesome. Thank you.
Now, the fact that Melvin conducted that interview with such professionalism and thoughtfulness, despite knowing something was going on, shows what he is all about. He easily could have canceled that interview on me, but he didn't. I appreciate it. With Ejim out for this qualifier, there's an opportunity for someone else to step up both on the floor and in a leadership role. Hopefully, if Canada qualifies for the Olympics, Ejim will once again be available to make his Olympic dream come true because, as you heard in that interview, his sacrifice for this team is matched by only a few select players, and he truly defines what this program is and wants to be in the future. Next on the NPH Hour, we connect with Lisa Tomaitis, the head coach of Canada's senior women's national team, who is also down in Tampa as the team quarantined upon their return from Puerto Rico, where they had a tough end to their run at the FIBA AmeriCup. But as you will hear, even stumbles in competition can be used as building blocks for the ultimate goal. That is next here on News Talk Saga 960 AM.